I'm sitting here on a Monday night and I'm evaluating what's going on in the stock market right now. And if you've been paying attention, you know the market has pulled back. We've got job losses going on all across the country with companies like Microsoft, Amazon, FedEx, UPS laying off thousands of people. And AI is threatening to displace these jobs and not bring them back. We've got war with Iran and the world seems to be in chaos, and oil prices spiked up over $100 a barrel. And as of today, we started to see that actually pull back some, which is why I believe the market had a slight recovery. But overall, the market is down. And when you take a look at across the marketplace and you see a lot of these stocks that people were investing in over the past 2+ years that didn't seem to have any type of revenue, we didn't know much about these companies, but they were all going to the moon and people were making easy money left and right. But that seems to have slowed down and maybe even stopped. So one of the things I'm really starting to take a look at is going back to the basics, going back to the blue chips, and really focusing on building out my positions on some of those major companies that have started to pull back. So in today's video, I'm going to be going over some of my favorite stocks that I like. I'm going to continue to invest in, especially now that the market has pulled back, because I think now is the best opportunity for us to actually purchase those blue chip companies. And then whenever the market recovers, we can then take our profits. So the very first company that I'm watching, and it's my favorite company right now to invest in, is Microsoft. Microsoft has so much going for it right now. And the very first thing that I'll touch on for Microsoft is their Azure, however you want to say it, cloud service offering. So this is unique because a lot of companies used to depend on buying hardware and putting them in a physical data center. So you have the hardware cost, the support of hardware. And if you didn't own the data centers, you're paying a monthly cost to house your equipment in the data center. So companies are starting to move away from that and they're moving to a virtual environment. And Microsoft and their Azure environment is the solution that a lot of companies are going towards, right? So Microsoft owns all of the infrastructure, all of the data centers, and you're just basically renting space in their cloud environment, which allows companies to reduce the cost of purchasing physical hardware, support on that hardware, and renting space in a data center. So that's number one. Number two, obviously, is Microsoft Office. That is the number one operating system in the world and has been for years. I don't see that going away. Now, we've got companies like Apple with their iOS environment that they're trying to get into business, but I just don't believe that they're going to be able to displace Microsoft as the preferred iOS for organizations as well as educational institutions. And then on top of that, Microsoft has been doing something a little sneaky. And what they've been doing is they now have a marketplace software offering. So what does that mean? So that means that Microsoft is enticing its customers to make purchases of Microsoft applications as well as non-Microsoft applications through their Microsoft marketplace. Now, why are they doing this? They are trying to corner the marketplace and displace a lot of software resellers out there and requiring companies to actually list their products on their marketplace, and they'll be able to capture some of that spend that are coming from those manufacturers. So I think that this is a good play for them. They're late to the party a little bit with this aspect, requiring companies to allow their customers to purchase software through the marketplace is going to give them more of the global market share on where software is actually purchased. So I think they have a lot of things going for them. They're sitting on a ton of cash and they're the number one stock that I actually love to invest in inside of my portfolio. The second company that's on my list that I'm definitely investing in on this market pullback is Amazon. So Amazon's got a lot of things going for it as well. And the number one thing that I think they have going for them, which is similar to Microsoft's Azure environment, is AWS, which is their web service, Amazon Web Service. Similar to Azure, it is their cloud-based service offering that allows companies to ditch the traditional data centers and all the data center costs that they have and actually start building out virtual data centers within their cloud service offering. This is a part of the Amazon business that has been booming for years. And whenever I listen to analyst calls and I take a look at some of their their quarterly numbers that they put out. AWS is a consistent winner whenever it comes to that. Of course, you still got Amazon Prime, where you can go online and you can purchase products and have them delivered. They also have cut out a lot of the UPS and FedEx portion of their business because they're doing their own delivery service with their Amazon drivers that are dropping products off at your house. But they're also getting into live TV. I know they've got Thursday Night Football with the NFL. I believe they're also trying to get some other live content to be able to use whenever you have Amazon Prime. So they've got a lot of stuff going for them. And I believe that where they're priced at right now, it's an attractive price, around $200 a share, to continue to invest in this position, because I think that they have an opportunity to actually continue to move to the upside and get over $250 to $300 a share within the next 12 to 18 months. The third company that I'm keeping an eye on, and I've talked about them in previous videos, and that's Eli Lilly. Eli Lilly is one of the #1 producers of insulin drugs for diabetic patients. And here in the US, we have an unhealthy demographic of people, and unfortunately, I don't see that going away. Eli Lilly also is one of the leading companies in the GLP-1 space with the shots like Ozempic and things of that nature. I'm not a huge fan of that product, but there's a lot of people that use it, and Eli Lilly is in the forefront of offering those products. Historically, I haven't invested a lot in pharmaceutical companies. It's not that I don't like them, it's just that that's not the space that I like to play in. However, if I am going to continue to invest in a pharmaceutical company, Eli Lilly is going to be the one. I think that they're primed to sustain that $1,000 plus per share price that they're currently sitting at right now. And who knows, they could potentially be a candidate to split in the future. I don't know. The fourth company that I really like that I'm going to be continuing to invest in is Waste Management. Now, I was doing a live stream 6 to 8 weeks ago, and the person that was interviewing me on that live stream was asking about some of the stocks that I really like. And when I mentioned Waste Management, he kind of seemed a little like, Waste Management. Yes, Waste Management. Waste Management, garbage collection, is one of the very few industries where it's going to be extremely tough for AI to displace that service, right? We always need trash. Now, there may be advances in technology to where we can recycle things much better, get rid of trash much more efficiently. But as of right now, where's all that going to go? Now, there's companies like Republic in this space as well, and I think they're a fantastic and phenomenal option to invest in as well. But I like Waste Management. And if you take a look at their numbers, you take a look at the properties that they own, I think they're primed to continue to be a solid investment. Now, I've been investing in Waste Management for several years now, and I've seen the price of this stock continue to move up at a steady pace. So I really like this investment. It's one that I'm focused on, and it's in my 10+ year hold category. The next company on the list is Visa. Look, in the US, we have surpassed over $1 trillion in credit card debt. We love to buy things that we don't even need to impress people that we don't even like, and that's not going to change. And companies like Visa, Amex, MasterCard, they're well positioned to take advantage of the spending habits that we have here in the West. Look, when it comes to investing, I take the emotion out of it, right? I am not someone that supports people going out and spending a lot of money on credit cards, but I know that that's going to continue to happen. That's not going to change. So I'm going to take advantage of companies like Visa, MasterCard, Amex, and in this case, Visa, that they're going to continue to rake in a ton of money every single quarter. And I think it's a solid investment for me to continue to invest in. So if you're not investing in the financial services space, Visa is definitely a company you want to take a look at. Just make sure you do your own research and understand any position that you invest in. Now, look, guys, out of all the companies that I've mentioned, there's a theme here. We're going back to the basics. We're going back to the blue chips. We're leaving the unknown stocks that were just, going crazy for no reason. There's no reason for a lot of these companies that were $10 one day and are $200 the next day. And I don't know, I think that might be dead for a little bit, but we're going back to the basics. So the next company that I'm going to continue to invest in, and this has been a staple for me as well, is Apple. Look, Apple has had a rough few years. They've had some products that they've released that just didn't hit the mark. Like, we understand that the iPhones are going to continue to come out. There's not going to be much that's going to change with those. But Apple users are very loyal to the brand. And there's going to be people that are just going to upgrade their phone every single year just because. Now, I think, this is just my opinion, that Apple needs some new blood in the C-suite. I think if they could get back to a CEO that was like Steve Jobs, that can really bring that innovation to the forefront, I think that this company can just shoot to the moon. But they have a lot going for them right now. One of the things that I really like about them is they are in the live TV space. I believe that they have some MLB games that they do for live TV. And if you haven't had a chance to check out Apple TV yet, they've got a lot of good shows on there. I recently subscribed to Apple TV, and some of the quality and shows that they have on there, I think really is an opportunity to move this company to the next level. Now, are they to the level of Netflix yet? No, but I think they can get there. And I think they're going to be a real competitor in that space moving forward. And on top of that, they are sitting on a mountain of cash. So they've got plenty of opportunities to either acquire companies or to take some risk in the future to continue to innovate. So I'm really looking forward to what this company can do moving forward. All right, so the next stock that I'm definitely going to be targeting during this market pullback is NVIDIA. NVIDIA has been a great investment for so many people, especially if you were able to invest in the beginning before it actually had its move to the upside. Now look, right now it's trading at under $200 a share. I like the price point that we're at right now. I even like 170-ish better than what I like right now. But I believe that NVIDIA is a $300+ per share stock all day long. And I have no doubt that we'll eventually get there. And this is definitely in my 10+ year hold bucket unless something drastic happens. All right, guys, so those are some of the stocks that I'm watching during this market pullback. Look, I'm going back to the basics here. And as I've said before, and I'll say it again, market pullbacks are when people actually can gain some real wealth in the stock market. And this is an opportunity that the market is presenting. And I don't know how long this is going to last, but I plan to continue to aggressively invest in these positions while the market has pulled back. So what do you guys think? What are some stocks that you like? I know there are some that I left out, like Palantir and things of that nature, but I definitely want to hear from you guys. What are some of the stocks that you like during this market pullback? And what are you investing in to help increase your net worth in the future?